Little Hands Big Attitude Book 3 Buying the Essentials. Welcome to Green Hills Grocery. Be sure to check out our latest sales. Allison looked to Silver as he ducked behind her. His ears pricked as he searched for the source of the voice.
It's okay, Silver. It's just the store's intercom system.
Where is it coming from?
He whispered. She bent down to his level and then pointed up at the ceiling.
You see that big disc on the ceiling with a bunch of holes in it? That's a speaker. And it broadcasts the sound across the store so everyone can hear it.
Silver nodded, wringing his hands a bit.
Speakers. Okay.
Blaze had already pulled a cart out of the corral, pushing it over and trying to see where she was going with it.
Come aboard, Silver. It's far easier to see where we are going from within the carriage.
Silver nodded, reaching up and taking her hand so she could help hoist him up into the basket.
All right.
It had been several days since the two teenagers had come to live with Allison, and between work, Silver's illness and other projects, Allison hadn't had time to get Silver anything, and Blaze everything else she might need other than clothes. That changed today. She discussed sleeping arrangements with the two of them, and they'd both requested to at least for now to share a room. It made sense. Silver and Blaze had always been together, and that included sleeping in the same space. The idea of being apart even by just a simple wall was weird and uncomfortable to them. Perhaps one of these days they'd be comfortable moving into their own spaces, but for now she was happy to accommodate to their comfort zones. She purchased 2 child mattresses online. Actual bed frames would have to wait a few paychecks, and had placed them on opposite sides of the room. She then placed a stripe of tape on the floor, splitting the room in half. One side was Blaze's and other Silver's. They could share each other's belongings as much as they wished, but it would be each one's responsibility to keep their side of the room clean. With that aside, she was now taking on the task of bringing them to the store for a few personal items of their own.
So each of you get to pick out your own pillow bedding, and if you want a plush to sleep with. We're also looking for some clothes for Silver. All right?
Yes, Miss Allison.
Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all could tell you their age easily, but it was a little harder to tell with these two. Clocks and calendars were things lost in the world they grew up in. Time was barely kept in record where they were. The clouds of ash kept them from following the sun in the day, and the constant glow of the lava made even the darkest, moonless night be cast in a red glow. But Allison knew one thing. They were older than Sonic by a little, and younger than Knuckles by a little, which put them somewhere around 15 years old. 15-year-old human kids wouldn't be caught dead by their friends and parents sleeping with stuffed animals. But these two hadn't grown up with such notions.
We get to choose. How do you expect us to do that?
Silver peered into the aisle of bedding sets.
I know it's daunting to think about, but maybe we can help narrow it down, We'll start with pillows.
The closest item on the aisle, she brought the cart to a stop and then explained the different firmness of the pillows.
Just lay your head on it here, and it'll help you decide which one you might need.
She wasn't surprised when Silver chose a firmer pillow to support his quills, nor when Blaze liked the softer pillows. Once that was done, she moved further down to the bedding sets.
Anything catch your eye?
The pair looked over the items, and then Blaze pointed to a set with light blue sheets and a teal comforter.
That one.
Allison took the package and placed it in the basket.
Excellent choice. How about you, Silver?
The stars.
Silver's eyes had indeed found something, because he was leaning a little out of the cart to feel a soft, plush comforter, a navy blue and dotted with various constellations. He blushed as he realized he'd interrupted her.
I like the stars.
Then the starry night sky it is. See, I told you guys you could make your own decisions. All right, let's see about getting you some shoes and gloves, Silver.
She placed it in with the pair as well. Silver and Blaze sat down in the cart, wandering on their way out of the bedding and into the shoe department. Unlike the bedding, a lot of the shoes were very similar in design and color, and Allison could see it was going to be a little harder for him to make a decision with so many options.
All right, hop out. The first thing we're going to do is check your foot size so we don't get a pair that's too small.
Silver removed the boots he'd been borrowing from her, letting her place one of them onto the ruler.
Is that a good size?
He asked as Allison got the measurement and put the ruler back.
They're perfect, Silver. Now, do you like how the boots feel? Do you want to get boots or another type of shoe?
Silver swung his feet a little, wiggling his toes.
I like the boots.
Great, that narrows down our search by a lot.
They wandered over to the boots section, Allison pulling the cart and Blaze along behind them. They looked over the options, tried a few on, and finally made the decision on a pair of medium gray hiking boots with white toes. Just like with Blaze, gloves were not too hard of a choice. He chose white and also a pair of black gloves with blue fingertips.
How's the dexterity in those? Can you move your fingers all right in there?
Allison asked as she pulled them over his hands. Silver wiggled his fingers and clenched them into fists, before giving a nod of satisfaction.
These will suit me just fine.
Great. Now let's do a little bit more looking for random stuff.
Both of the aliens took their seats in the cart, and Allison wandered the aisles, looking for anything she felt they might still need. She grabbed each of them their own brushes for their fur and quills. She let them pick a kid's shampoo they liked, picked up a few bows and hair ties for Blaze, and then it was off to the toy department. It seemed a little silly, but she reminded herself that they didn't grow up with the same notions that human kids did. And she was shown that as they overlooked the aisles upon aisles of toys intended for children.
All of these are purely for the entertainment of children.
Some of them serve a teaching purpose as well, but yeah.
They were going down one aisle when Blaze held her hand out.
Wait, Miss Allison. That one right there, the red raccoon.
Allison looked where Blaze was pointing, and saw a little plush red panda on the shelf. She picked it up and handed it to Blaze.
This one.
Blaze pulled it close to her, giving a little smile.
Yes, something about it just seems right.
Well, this little one is lucky to have you. Anything popping out at you, Silver?
Silver tilted his head this way and that, but then gave a shrug.
Not particularly.
That's okay, it's not something I'm going to make you pick today.
She overlooked the items and the duo sitting in her cart and then gave a nod.
How about we find something for dinner really quick and then head back home, alright? They're predicting storms tonight.
Very well. What do you suggest we get?
Not sure. It's awfully cold today, so I think something hot. How does red beans and rice sound?
Sounds like something we've never eaten, which means it's worth a try.
Perfect.
Once they'd checked out and gotten into the car, the trio returned home and unloaded their groceries. Allison suggested the pair go and put their new bedding on their mattresses while she made dinner, and so the pair grabbed the handles on the packaging and dragged them down the hall and into the first bedroom, their room.
Actual blankets, Blaze. With no holes, no dust and dirt all over them.
Silver whispered as he fiddled with the zipper on the packaging.
I know. So much has happened since we arrived here. What did Miss Allison say about putting the sheets on?
She said the one with the bunched up corners goes on first, then the flat one, and then the blanket.
And then I guess the pillow goes in here?
She held up a small pouch of fabric. Silver looked at it and then at the packaging of his bedding.
Yeah, says it's a pillowcase. Makes sense. Don't ask me what a sham is though, or why the bed needs a skirt.
Blaze shrugged and then began to carefully pull every item out of the package and lay them on the floor, examining each one and trying to match them up with what she saw in the image. She started with the pillowcases, opening her pillow from its wrapping and then gently tucking it into the case and making sure it fit well. Pop! Blaze turned and saw Silver at one end of the mattress, and apparently one of the corners he'd gotten on at the other end had come loose and bounced back his direction.
Do you need help?
Nope, I got it. Just give me a second.
He got the corner he'd been working on tucked in and then scurried over to fix the other one. Pop!
What? But it's okay. It's okay, I got it.
More scrambling to fold the sheet corner under the mattress and fix the first one a second time. Pop!
Oh, come on.
Blaze giggled, crawling over to the end of the bed.
I'll hold this end while you get that one.
With teamwork, they finally got all four corners on the mattress without them coming loose, and it was immediately decided that Silver would help Blaze with hers to avoid the same issue. The top sheets were far easier to get put into place, and then the blankets and pillows were placed on the mattresses.
Aha! Look at us, we have made our first beds.
Silver announced, hands on his hips. Blaze grinned, their very own beds and room. This was better than she had ever hoped for, following the disaster. She took her new stuffed animal and carefully placed it by the pillow, smoothing down the fur and then stepping back and overlooking their new sleeping quarters.
How much more do you think regular human teenagers have in their bedrooms?
Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles had far more in their room, but it appeared that most of it was items Sonic had collected over the years. Not really necessary, but just there for amusement.
Blaze tugged at her sleeve.
I don't think I would feel comfortable requesting Miss Allison to purchase superfluous things for me.
Yeah, me neither.
Silver settled his new boots and gloves down at the foot of his bed, putting them on and taking a few steps in the boots.
Still feels weird compared to being barefoot all these years, but I'll get used to it.
A few moments later, Allison called for them, saying dinner was about ready and to wash up. Dinner went smoothly, with Silver informing her that he'd eat a second serving if she'd let him. Allison knew better than that, though. After going years with both of them only eating what they could find every day, which wasn't much, suddenly having food at their disposal anytime would tempt them to eat more than their stomachs were used to and make them sick. They cleaned up their plates once finished, and while Allison did the dishes and cleaned up the prep dishes, Blaze and Silver settled on the couch and watched The Wizard of Oz on the TV.
Miss Allison, can you really wind up in a whole other world by a twister picking up your house?
Well, when I was little, I would have said no. But stranger things have happened since then. Like you guys showing up. Did you two get brought here by a twister?
No, it was a light.
See, not a lot of people travel by light, but you two did.
Silver hadn't really taken the time to consider how exactly they arrived here on Earth. They'd arrived and focused on finding somewhere safe to hide out while they foraged for food. And then he got sick and all he wanted to consider was being able to breathe again. He didn't know what had caused the light, only that he remembered it had come with a sudden surge of energy, his powers flaring out from what he'd been carrying at the time, and then the two of them were tumbling down the slope of a hill. And there was grass. There were trees. There was cold, running water from a nearby stream. It was nothing like he'd seen and experienced before, and better than he'd ever dreamed. He watched Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion skip their way down the yellow brick road a few moments longer, and then he climbed off of the couch.
Where are you going?
Silver's lips curled back a bit.
Oh, I don't know. I know it's early, but I thought I might try to get some rest with my new bedding.
Blaze grinned, and she quickly turned off the TV and hurried after him.
Brush your teeth before you get all settled.
Yes, Miss Allison.
Allison finished up the dishes and then went to their room and peeked in. Both were under the covers, Blaze holding her red panda under one arm.
All comfy.
It's so soft. Nothing like I had before.
Well, I'm glad. Fresh and clean sheets always make me feel better.
She turned to face Blaze, taking a seat on the end of her bed.
So does your raccoon have a name?
Blaze gently stroked the little animal's ears.
Well, I know that there was a mighty captain in my homeland's past that was a raccoon. She led the crusade against the pirates that ravaged the smaller islands. Captain Marine. I think I'll call her that.
Well then, I'm sure this Captain Marine will be protecting as well, guarding you from nightmares while you sleep. And you're all good there, Silver?
Silver nodded, gripping the edge of the blanket a little tighter.
Thank you, Miss Allison, for all of this, giving us somewhere safe to sleep in new clothes.
You're both welcome. Now get to sleep, alright? I don't want to hear any giggling and whispers coming from in here.
Yes, Miss Allison.
Good night.
Good night.
Allison smiled and then doused the light.